A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, it is a period of a very strange holiday. Personally, I don't understand it. Kids worshipping ghosts, pretending to be devils, things on TV that are completely inappropriate for young viewers, things like the following half hour. Nothing seems to bother my kids, but tonight's show, which I totally wash my hands of, is really scary. So if you have sensitive children, maybe you should tuck them into bed early tonight instead of writing us angry letters tomorrow. Thank you for your attention. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The views expressed therein are solely those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of their employers. Hello there, and welcome back to 6 Degrees of Star Wars, the podcast where we explore all the ways George Lucas's flagship franchise surrounds us, binds us, and penetrates us in the landscape of cinema. I'm your host, Sam Marchioni. Joining me today, Ellie McConaughey.
I think this podcast should go forwards, not backwards, upwards, not forwards, and always twirling towards Star Wars.
Shamila Karanakran.
Quoth the Raven, eat my shorts!
And Todd B.
This is indeed a disturbing universe.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. We are doing, for a second Halloween episode, which is very funny because this was actually inspired by this, we're doing the original Treehouse of Horror from the second season of The Simpsons.
Greetings, I am IER60, Star Wars Retelling Connections. Point of intersection found. This is a degree 2. James Earl Jones voiced the lead role of Darth Vader in the original trilogy. Additional source material found. This is a retelling of The Fall of the House of Usher and the Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. For uncredited amendments, check out 6degreesofstarwars.tumblr.com/sibling-blogs.
You know, it's not Halloween totally over until The Simpsons do Treehouse of Horror.
Even though they've been airing them now, there was a while they were airing them in November, and why? Why would you do that?
Because something must be done to hold back the tide of Christmas.
I maintain that Christmas has long since breached the Black Friday agreement. I don't want to hear Mariah Carey until at least Thanksgiving. Knock it off.
This is the way. We have spoken.
We have spoken. I have spoken.
So, I'm less of a Simpsons enthusiast than others, but, you know, I did watch all of the Treehouse of Horrors a couple years ago, which my Disney Plus account at the time loved because Disney Plus's user interface is crap, and after you finish Treehouse of Horror, even though you're going from a playlist rather than go to the next Treehouse of Horror, it's like, and here's the next episode of The Simpsons from that season. I'm like, that is not what I asked for, you numpty.
Disney Plus's interface is just genuinely, I don't know why more companies are like, oh, we're gonna try to do different from this or that. No, just fucking do it the way that works. I don't need your interface to be cool or unique. I need to find the fucking show I want to watch.
But Ellie, how can they justify the price jacking if they haven't reinvented the wheel 5 times over so that it barely gets down the hill?
Reinventing the wheel is how we get the price jack. I'm okay. I'm fine.
Are you getting angry because you're trying to push us away and stop us from connecting?
No, I would like you to connect. It'd be nice. Love you, Sam.
I'm very happy that we do get to do the first Treehouse of Horror as our first Treehouse of Horror episode, so thank you to our Degree 2. Second year in a row, we're doing a Halloween thing with James Earl Jones.
Let's go! With me.
And with Ellie. And Todd, you were there too, right?
I don't remember I was there for... God, was that Halloween? I know what the first
Were
episode
you
I was
there
on
for
was
Grim
the
It was
Grim
the one
Fairy
with
Tale.
For Grim Fairy Tales.
Yes.
This is all feeling very familiar. I'm very nervous.
I will say this much. This is much better than Grim Prairie Tales. All respect to Jones and Dorff in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the certain quote-unquote Indian burial ground, it's just...
Hang on. I'm running the nickel sequence, so if I had a nickel for every time I did a Halloween episode with Ellie and Todd that was a Degree 2 featuring James Earl Jones that was an anthology of stories, and one of those stories involved the tired, racist trope of a native burial ground. I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
Dear God.
Well played.
So I don't want to say that the Indian burial ground trope isn't tired and racist. It is both of those things. Knock it off. It is 2025. Come up with something new. You're boring. That having been said, Bad Dream House is very clearly a pastiche of several things, mostly Poltergeist and the Amityville Horror, both of which have had very odd afterlives as movies. I mentioned in the chat, I want audience members, sitting here listening, get in your head how many Amityville movies there are in existence. Get that number in your head, okay? The answer is between 30 and 40, depending on how you count the porn parodies and the Conjuring movies.
Which almost raises the question, who was the better grifter and hustler, the Warrens or the Lutzes?
The Warrens.
I'm not going to ask further questions about that.
For anybody who's not sure, the Lutzes are the family that allegedly started the whole Amityville hustle.
The Warrens, however, are fascinating to me as 2 of the best-known paranormal investigators in history, thanks pretty much entirely to the Conjuring movies. They're also charlatans, even by the standards of other paranormal investigators. Even other paranormal investigators.
Ellie, I'm going to get the spray bottle if you don't stop talking about Amityville.
No! Your spray cannot stop me, Sam!
Look, I've tried choking you through the riverside with the force. It hasn't worked. I've got to resort to other tactics. One thing I will say in The Simpsons' favor for this stupid trope that needs to die, they did have 1 Indian in that burial ground.
Mahatma Gandhi.
Also, I'm sorry, now I need to invoke the line here. Yeah. Look, guys, come on. This podcast has disagreements, just had arguments, but we've never had knife fights before this.
Yes. And then Maggie doing the Pazuzu, full 360-degree turn.
Mm-hmm.
It's Maggie is all down to commit crime.
Yeah, there's that. I'm still not sure which one the bleeding walls trope is supposed to be from.
That's for The Shining.
Also, they I know it's not deliberate because the book was not at that point. The moving wall when Bart's being talked is inadvertently kind of a House of Leaves tie-in.
Mm-hmm. The Poltergeist pastiche is mostly in how it ends.
Also, the portal in the kitchen.
Portal in the kitchen, but there is a portal to hell in the basement of the Amityville Horror.
True. Also, I will say to the burial ground thing. Yes, the tire trope. It did also lead to one of my favorite jokes of that segment. It's the Homer on the phone to the realtor.
We told you this 5 or 6 times.
Very good. 10 out of 10. Hot take. The Simpsons, especially in this era, very funny show.
Also, the fact that they can afford 18 bedrooms and a pool and whatever, in this economy, that is just a fairy dream. So we are all living in a house of evil. Just to save a few dollars.
It's become a pretty solid meme of I'm sorry, you say I get to own the house? I don't care if it's haunted. I get to own the house. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah,
it's almost you want to sympathize with horror of that. Look, we get an exorcist. We're getting a great house out of it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's either that or I'd want a vampire landlord. At least then they'd be a literal bloodsucker instead of a metaphorical one. But dow.
Waggity schmaggity, and may I add, do.
Mm-hmm. Look, I'm but a simple girl. Not every crack can be Oscar Wilde.
So James Earl Jones does show up in each of these, and I love the appearance that he has of the moving guy who is a buck. I'm glad this house is cursed. But I also kind of wish he'd been the voice of the house, because I would have loved to hear him say, living with the Simpsons, and then just...
Yes.
When I was younger, I actually misremembered he was the house. So rewatch this a few years back, I was oh no, I had this all wrong.
No, Harry Shearer voiced the house, and he was an uncredited ADR loop group in A New Hope.
Huh. Also, I do kind of love that it's with each segment, the James Earl Jones presence gets larger and larger.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that they used to do in this era of Treehouse of Horrors is they would have a running gag from in each. Those sort of spread across all 3 segments. I feel like they don't do that as much. To name the other episode that features our boy James Earl Jones, every single one of those segments features Willie getting killed with an axe.
Complete with topping up the last one that just is, I'm bad at this.
Oh my god, they killed Willie!
You bastards.
Yeah, but somehow this is the only like Treehouse of Horror where no one actually gets killed. But I know that this is the first one, but it's also the only one that's actually set in the treehouse.
Which is also weird because we're like, officially speaking, they didn't call this one that back then. It was still just the Simpsons Halloween Special.
Also, at this point, I know this seems completely absurd, but at this point, the warning at the front of the episode was 100% sincere. They did not want you bothering them when you let your kids watch this.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a real disclaimer. Like, the concept hadn't really been done before on network television, and it's supposed to be a parody of the one that they do in the 31 Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually kind of fascinating. You look back at the history of the show those early seasons where it's like, we take for granted. There was a period of time where it's like, again, they'd get pushed back on stuff. There was the question of, is this series actually going to last? Whereas now we're looking and go, when will it end? Dear God, when will it end?
Let Julie Kavner retire, my god!
Yeah, as I was saying before we recorded this, watching this episode again, it was kind of that painful reminder of, gosh, this, like, the voice is still, she hasn't quite fully mastered it. It's like, there's a youth and energy there that you listen to Latter-day Marge, it's just like, oh God, they have ground it out of her.
Mm-hmm. It's, people will tell me, and people do tell me, that the new seasons of The Simpsons are good. Maybe they are. I don't know. Haven't watched them, probably won't.
I personally have never... I've only ever watched the first Treehouse of Horror, but that was only because they were showing the Raven segment for an English class that we did for Edgar Allan Poe. Other than that, I did not grow up with The Simpsons. My mother found them annoying, and, well, growing up a South Asian kid of immigrants, there were always the Apu imitations whenever.
Yeah.
Fair, yeah.
It's inescapable.
It's
honestly unbelievable how long they let that go on.
It's so interesting to me that, like, you have the... We're not going to go too far into the Apu thing, because he doesn't actually show up in this episode. I think this was even before...
This was before, I think.
Hank Azaria was this before
let me
Hank
take a
Azaria
quick
was
look
a
on that.
cast
Hold
member?
that thought.
I don't think it was before Hank Azaria was a cast member. Hank Azaria is just an indelible part of The Simpsons. He plays... Like, if you don't know, audience, go look up how many characters Hank Azaria plays. It's like most of them. He and Dan Castellaneta
Between him and
are
Harry
like
Shearer is like 3/4 of Springfield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, the thing that struck me about that whole segment in hindsight is The Simpsons itself, like the writers and animators, got really pissy about being criticized about it. And then comes out the voice actor's like, no, I'm really sorry. I probably should have stopped this a while ago. We're wrong. We're going to knock this off. Like, man, be better, Simpsons.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Hank Azaria, he was only supposed to be voicing, like, convenience store clerk. He was the one who purposely put on an Indian accent for the thank you, come again thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which he then kind of admitted he credited to, awkwardly, Peter Sellers.
Hank Azaria is just frustrating in general for a lot of those reasons. Like, I was recently on a plane and I watched The Birdcage and I'm like, oh yeah, there's Hank Azaria doing
He keeps doing brown face.
The sad part is that's actually still kind of better than how that character is presented in La Cage aux Folles.
Not an improvement.
I'm not disagreeing, but at least they had a black actor playing a black character in La Cage aux Folles.
Fair.
Lowest possible bar, but they did get over it.
You're trading one groan for another.
Which you have to do, especially in this time period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, with all the movies, it's always like, there's something to groan about. And like, how have we not grasped this yet?
I mean, I literally just had you on an episode about Network, Sam, and like, I think Network is a great film, but man, it gets real weird about Arab people at the midpoint, don't it?
Mm-hmm. Anyway, back to The Simpsons. Well, as somebody who has only ever pop culture osmosis to the Twilight Zone, Hungry Are the Damned is... I don't know, I kind of feel like Lisa was justified.
In the interesting thing that I noted is that, like, it comes to the exact opposite conclusion that Hungry Are the Damned did.
Because in the original Twilight Zone episode, they were saying to serve man, they were saying that they were presenting the alien society as a utopia, and the main character goes on the ship, and there's another person who comes in right at the last second and goes, "It's a cookbook," right just as the ship goes off, and that's the whole twist. It's like,
and I mean,
it's like Soylent Green all over again.
The episode's constructed in a way where they clearly want you to make that connection. They're leaving so many breadcrumbs to that just to then pull the swerve.
As much as the Twilight Zone got famous for having twists that were deep or meaningful or political, it did occasionally just have twists, and I don't know how else to frame this except by the what's the name of the episode with the kid who sends people to the cornfield?
It's a Good Life.
It's a Good Life. The ending narration for that one amounts to, "Gee, how about that? That was fucked up, huh?" Anyway. And I like those episodes. He's like, "Hey, wasn't that fucked up? Cool."
Apparently, the to serve man gag, as long as it was supposed to originally going to have one last punchline where the aliens remove the last of the dust on the cover, and it was supposed to read, "How to cook for 40 humans and then eat them." Well, I think that gag would have been too long, but it's interesting to see what would have went with that.
And honestly, it does feel like the joke plays better with the idea of yeah, I know, you guys were just jerks, and they've had enough.
Yeah.
Honestly, maybe I have just too much fanfiction brain rot, but I kind of would have liked it on some level if they had come to the conclusion that, oh no, the Simpsons suck, so let's cook up a reason, pun fully intended,
well,
to
they
get
kind
them
of
the
already
fuck out of here.
Yeah, they kind of already did that with Bad Dream House when the house goes living with the Simpsons and just immediately implodes because they don't want to live with them. Living with the Simpsons is just no. That is a line I'm not crossing.
my family's alien abduction, but me, or maybe the boy. I apologize to those of you who've only really pop culture osmosis of The Simpsons. Todd and I communicate about 70% in Simpsons quotes. I think I still send "Go to hell, you old bastard" to you every one of your birthdays.
I do believe that's the reference you go with, yes, and it is always appreciated.
I do my best.
It is also wild that this is pre-vegetarian Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I honestly think the weirdest thing about the vegetarian Lisa thing is, and I didn't even put this dot together until years later going through them on DVD, and just the idea of, they kind of, the first idea of Lisa being a vegetarian, the future version of her and Lisa's wedding came out before they actually made the episode where they declared her officially vegetarian. So someone was kind of percolating that idea before that came along.
It seems very in character for her. Honestly, I think the most surprising thing about it is that it is a decision they made over the course of an episode and that they stuck with.
Supposedly the story is that was one of Paul McCartney's
McCartney.
Conditions for being on the episode, was you don't reverse this.
Which is also funny because Paul McCartney is semi-featured in this episode. He is one of the names in the graveyard.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Including Disco and Not So Crazy Horse.
Referencing the rumor that he was actually dead.
Also, another one of those jokes they kind of lost over the years, the funny tombstones is the beginning in credits.
Am I wrong? I wasn't paying super close attention because I was watching with a friend of mine, but did they not also have the James Hellbrooks in the credits yet?
This is the only episode that does not have the scary name puns.
No, because this was the first iteration of it. I think they were still evolving from that. But this is also the first episode that's composed by Alf Clausen, who would continue to compose for the show for 27 years.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of was unsung parts. It's the formula for a long time there.
It's extremely weird to me that we're sitting here talking about a Simpsons episode from the show's very early days, because let's be honest with ourselves, the first season's a little rough. It's better than a lot of the deeply mediocre stuff that would come along later, but it's it's not there yet. It needed some time to cook. So this is really the start of the Simpsons era golden age, and I had this thought watching it that how many more years is it? 2 or 3 more years before Homer was born after The Simpsons started. It's like 1 or 2 more years, right? He's 37.
Ow, my back.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I think you're right about that number.
So, like, The Simpsons has been a pop culture institution so much longer than it was ever really a show. I don't know. It's like nice to sit down and watch an episode and just be like, yeah, this used to just be like some guys just throwing whatever they thought of at the wall. Like, what if we just did an entire segment of an episode that's just let James Earl Jones read Edgar Allan Poe for 20 minutes or 5 minutes, I guess.
Yeah, apparently Matt Groening was worried about like doing The Raven because it was like a straight up adaptation, not a parody, and he was worried that it would be like the quote unquote the worst, most pretentious thing they ever done.
I don't know. It's like the humor bits they sprinkle throughout work. Like it still keeps the tone, but it's like it still also keeps that one foot in The Simpsons without going too hard one way or the other.
Like Marge being Lenore and having the portrait hair.
The portrait hair is a great gag.
I honestly, one of my favorite jokes about that, it's during the entire Homer chasing Bart as the Raven, and Bart is just pulling other Poe books off the shelf to drop on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Pigeon Pendulum, the Telltale Heart, and the Purloined Letter. And they actually do add that scene where Homer is trying to make Raven Bart leap by force to tear apart the study, and it's a good use of the "why you little" gag.
Yes.
Did the quick search. Homer is always supposed to be 39, therefore in 2028, Homer will have been born the same year The Simpsons started broadcasting.
Good God.
This is, I will say loosely, that has been kind of my proverbial cutoff is, for me, The Simpsons, like, it's the version where, per their timeline, Bart was born in 81, Lisa was 84, and Maggie, I think, was 90. Once they have to start rewriting the background after that, I'm like, I'm gonna go over here now.
I mean, I don't want to insult Mr. Groening. He has made a lot of shows that a lot of people really love. He also made that fantasy show. But
don't get me started. That's a whole different podcast. Okay.
I've never watched it. I've just also never heard anyone have a kind word to say about it. So it could be good.
I'm the one person.
I've heard a bunch of people go to bat for it.
Okay, maybe I'm just meeting the wrong people. I don't actually have any opinions on it because I've never watched it. And at this point, again, probably won't. Anyway, Matt Groening's opinions on what episodes of his show are like embarrassing is stupid. He's dumb about that. He thinks that the crossover with The Critic is embarrassing and not like the crossover with Family Guy or the numerous times they like the episode with fucking Elon Musk. He's not embarrassed at that one. He's embarrassed at the episode with The Critic.
The more I hear about this, the more I'm glad that I still have not watched The Simpsons. I think maybe we'll just treat this as a Treehouse of Horror thing exclusively.
What are you talking about? The Simpsons only 8 seasons of television.
Are you sure about that?
I'm sure about it.
At the absolute latest, once Phil Hartman's gone, that's like close the door and don't look back.
They'll never stop The Simpsons.
The one caveat I have to that is that if you cut it off there, then we never get Hugh Jackman and Robert Reich doing a musical number about how the middle class has been utterly obliterated.
Okay, we do that.
Okay,
and we do that exact
that
scene. That exact scene. No other part of that episode.
They chopped salaries to raise stock prices, cut up the pie and kept all the slices. Tax breaks went to CEOs, never trickling down to average Joe.
But again, it is along to Ellie's joke there. It is fascinating how it's like, again, those early seasons, there's a lot of like some overt, some kind of more stealthy reference to the idea of like, this show probably won't last. We'll probably get canceled. And then after a while, it's turned into leaning to the joke of, they're never going to let us die.
So is that why they do all the Treehouse of Horror deaths?
The only thing I've heard along those lines is like Treehouse of Horror 5 it's kind of one where they up the violence, and the speculation is that was done as a clapback about concerns of what they were putting on the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they kind of figured like, okay, this year we're going to double down.
And Treehouse of Horror 5 is the best one in my opinion, and I don't think that's a particularly hot take. The Shinning, Nightmare Cafeteria, and Time and Punishment are the best Treehouse of Horror segments.
Like, I still remember years back did an informal ranking of them. Although I will say, to that end, the Raven from this one did make my number 2, losing only to The Shinning.
God, The Shinning's so good. I might have complicated feelings on The Simpsons, y'all.
Gee, we couldn't guess.
I can't imagine why that might be.
Do I have simple feelings on anything? Am I allowed to have an opinion in under 300 words anymore?
I mean, I think you have relatively simple feelings where it comes to Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
I have complex thoughts. My opinions are swoon.
Exactly. I do also want to circle back to something about the Raven. It made me think about the idea of Homer going through life all the time with James Earl Jones as his inner monologue. Like, imagine the many peanuts exchange with James Earl Jones.
Hold on, let me see if I can get my voice that deep. Give me a second. Money can be exchanged for goods and services.
Exactly. No, but they couldn't get him for, like, when the alien showed up next time, they couldn't really get Serac because they said, too expensive. So, I don't know. It would be a really good gag, but James Earl Jones was too expensive at the time, but it's fun to think about in another universe.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you check it says whenever they get James Earl Jones back after that, it's just record 1 or 2 lines and then he's out the door.
Mm-hmm.
He was always a good sport, though. Like, he was...
Oh, yeah.
If there was one thing we can say about James Earl Jones, he was an incredibly good sport his entire life.
Yeah, like, I still hate The Big Bang Theory, and it will never be on this show because I don't hate myself that much, but I did see a lot of the episode with him and Carrie Fisher when I was growing up, and I did enjoy how he was like,
let me guess, you like Star Wars. You know, I've been in other movies, but you don't care about those, do you? I have one thing to say to people like you. I like Star Wars too.
I really, except for Harrison Ford, who famously hates Star Wars, I have found that, like, the most of the Star Wars cast was always... Oh, and I guess Alec Guinness were mostly down to be kind of good-natured about it.
Ellie, I feel like Alec Guinness's ghost would haunt you if you forgot to mention him on that one.
Yes, Alec. But I can't even think of Alec Guinness as a Star Wars cast member anymore. It's like Oscar Isaac. Honestly, it's kind of like Harrison Ford, too. There are Star Wars cast members, and there were people who were in a Star Wars cast. I love Carrie Fisher with all my heart and soul. She did never really... She did not have a career like Harrison Ford, which is more is the shame. She's very funny. Man, I just thought about how the only way ever The Simpsons is ever going to die is when, like, one of the main core cast members finally kicks in.
Don't speak it into existence just yet. Let Julie Kavner retire first.
It's like the only other way that could have been would have been if Harry Shearer managed to up his price enough where the studio blinks, but I don't think we're that lucky.
They've got Disney money now. They're never going to blink. Vertical integration is too good.
I almost respect I think it's now a decade-spanning game of chicken he's been playing with them.
Honestly, I think that he thought they'd blink a while ago, and he's just, like, seeing how much he can wring out of them.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Like, he's been ready to, like, as soon as they say we can't match, he's like, okay, fine, that's not what I wanted all along, but so long as they keep matching his prices, like...
of him.
Yeah, it's like, so long as they keep matching his price, like, yeah, okay, I guess. Like, the one time he drew a line in the sand was like, he was not going to do the Family Guy crossover.
See, he understands what's up.
He also drew the line for the fucking theme park, but...
I don't know, like, someday The Simpsons is going to have to end, like, if only because, the cast are mortal, and they've mostly been pretty good about when a cast member dies, they don't recast them, We mentioned...
Phil Hartman,
thank you. Phil Hartman, once he died, they just retired all those characters, which was a shame because all those characters were hilarious, but, like, I don't know, can you imagine Homer being played by someone else when Dan Castellaneta finally hangs it up?
I mean, I can't even picture Troy McClure or Lionel Hutz voiced by anybody other than Phil.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's...
They also retired Mrs. K, right?
Yeah.
Teacher.
Yeah.
And the Lunch Lady Doris.
Lunch Lady Doris. Also, Fat Tony, Roger Myers Jr., R.I.P. Alex Rocco and Joe Mantegna reversed them for that to be respectfully.
So Maud Flanders is kind of an outlier, isn't she?
Oh, that has its own other unfortunate story behind that.
Yeah.
Maggie Roswell tried to ask for a raise. They were willing. It's like they had other plans for that one.
Fun.
Yeah, that was a spite move.
I guess my point is that eventually The Simpsons has to end, and I don't know. I have this, like, rule in my head that, like, you can only really say what the artistic statement of a television show was at its end. Like, people are like, oh, well, I just sort of don't count these seasons. Like, that's not fair. You can't do that. It is what it is. You have to approach the art as it is, but I don't know how you do that with something like The Simpsons.
Which is also what I say to anybody who tries to ignore the 4th season of Community. Like, no, you don't get to pretend it doesn't exist.
It's like, just call it the gas leak year like they've done in series and run with it.
You can say that it's bad, but like, I don't know, I think the 4th season actually adds something to the show. It adds to the feeling that, like, you know, the show always made a big deal out of how unmarketable and how weird it was. And honestly, as someone who watches a lot of David Lynch, you know, I sort of like roll my eyes at like something like me, oh, I'm so weird and dark. But, you know, it was too weird and dark. They tried to change it and it just didn't work.
I mean, along those same lines, yeah, there are some... Season 2 of Twin Peaks has a lot of rough patches. The fandom doesn't try to pretend they ever happened. They will mock the crap out of someone. They will not deny they ever happened.
I remembered a voice actor that they did actually have somebody else start voicing them. When Rusty Taylor passed away, Grey Delisle took over. For Martin and Sherry and Terry and...
Uter, I think, was the other one she voiced. The German exchange kid.
Don't make him run. He's full of chocolate.
Which, funny enough, actually a character that was first introduced in Treehouse of Horror, and then they brought him over to the main series.
I mean, like, Uter's a very one-joke character, but it's a funny joke whenever they do it, as long as they don't overdo it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked rewatching this. I always like rewatching The Simpsons. I wouldn't be surprised if I put on the rest of season 2 tonight, but, like, there's always something a little melancholy about it.
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe people were easier to scare back then.
Yeah, he looked like the first Friday the 13th movie. Pretty tame by today's standards.
Yeah, it's like Treehouse of Horror.
The first Scream movie.
It's Treehouse of Horror has been like an October tradition for me. This year's actually been a little weird because this is, in past years, what I've been setting up like for trick-or-treaters, I will just have a playlist of all the episodes running in the background. I'm actually not going to be doing that this year because in a production of The Crucible that opens like that night, so that's like, it's we're going, I gotta do them early this year. I can't do the usual.
So I own the first 10 seasons of The Simpsons on DVD, partly because physical media is important to everyone, and partly because it's literally the only way to watch at least one episode.
Oh my god.
Yep.
So for my own edification, I decided I wanted to see what this year's Treehouse of Horror was going to include, and Idris Elba is voicing the devil.
Really? Oh my god.
And Viola Davis is narrating.
What?
I think it's gonna be a Sundance parody.
Watch the new Treehouse of Horror.
Yes!
This year.
Oh my god, they're doing the James Earl Jones tradition.
It's like, there's two voices in my brain. One's going, okay, this is a tradition. Another part of me is going, don't do it, it's a trick.
Airing on October 19th, 2025. Which means that when this airs, y'all will have seen it. Hopefully.
Very quick rundown on my thoughts about said episode. Boy, does it feel like they wanted to give Julie Kavner a break. She's only in one segment for like 10 lines. The episode overall felt kind of underwhelming as far as Treehouse of Horrors go, but I enjoyed the couch gag, and I think the segment with Idris Elba, which is a late night with the devil pastiche, was the best one of the three this year. Oh, that ending, that was some good stuff.
I guess my point was that, like, watching The Simpsons, the early seasons of The Simpsons, feels a little bit like I'm a detective sitting in a film noir, sitting in a darkened room watching one of those home videos of your dead wife.
Ugh.
To bring it back to Community.
I feel slightly horrible the fact that when you're actually describing this, I instead pictured you a la Nicolas Cage watching the infamous titular film at 8mm.
Oh god.
That's me watching the new seasons. I guess that, like, and that's like, okay, obviously that's a hyperbolic comparison, but like, I don't know, The Simpsons is something that still exists, but it doesn't feel like it still exists. I always talk about it in the past tense.
I mean, to borrow a Treehouse of Horror line, there's times like the new seasons, it's the, what? You're still here?
To borrow a horror movie reference, let me see if I can do a good delivery on this. Sometimes dead is better.
Ellie, I just got chills. I was not expecting that.
I do my best.
Should have cancelled it back at season 30.
Christ. That's a sentence that shouldn't be.
Back at season 20 even. Maybe even season 10.
I think at this point, maybe the reason The Simpsons keeps going is so that South Park can continue to milk the Simpsons did it bit.
I was like, I don't know, along these lines, I don't know how deliberate it is. My personal head theory has been, looking back, rewatching season 8, there's several episodes where it feels like they were trying to land the plane. Right down to the fact that one of the final episodes is quite literally a almost statement on, yeah, don't try to think too much about how Homer has just lived this life. You will drive yourself insane.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the best episodes, in my opinion. You think that if I went over to Matt Stone and Trey Parker's house and just stood outside with an audio, with like a boombox repeating, "Oh my God, you guys killed democracy, you bastards," over and over again, they'd get me shot.
No, I think they'd consider that you advocating your free speech.
Yep, you got to remember, it's only free speech when it doesn't annoy them.
I still don't know what's going on with that at this point. Like, apparently these new season people kind of decide they're okay again, but it's that moment of like, where was all this earlier?
I have no artistic respect for Matt Stone and Trey Parker. I will not elaborate.
Valid. More than valid.
It's not exactly like The Simpsons have done a lot in terms of doing that either. Like, I remember all the Lisa is Kamala Harris jokes, but...
Considering they've been owned by Disney, that's not shocking at all. Which actually, that as well as other things which you will miss when you look at the early stuff to now is early seasons, they were allowed to take so much of the piss out of Fox. It's like new Simpsons is not allowed to bite that hand that feeds it.
Now I'm thinking about the first Simpsons movie and Bart putting a bra on his head. I'm the mascot of an evil corporation!
Admittedly, my first thought was actually one where, and I think it partly explains why they had so much leeway with Fox. There is I think it's the episode of the telethon, it's they get a donation, Rupert Murdoch, "You just saved my network!" Custom bar on the other end. Wouldn't be the first time.
I actually think that the Simpsons joke that actually sums up why they were able to get away with more or less whatever they wanted in this era. Same thing with these two other shows that are about to be named. There's a bit where they're like, the Simpsons were asked to fill out some holes in the Fox's roster.
Oh, God,
and they show like the weekly roster at Fox, and like Monday nights is the X-Files. Wednesday nights is Melrose Place, Sunday nights is The Simpsons, and like nothing else. So they could do whatever the fuck they wanted. The X-Files was fucking putting out Home and Tunguska, and like no one's gonna say shit. We're keeping your entire network afloat.
Like they blinked for a little while on Home, but they did eventually walk that back.
Only episode of the show to ever get a TVMA rating.
Yeah, I don't think that's one we'll ever be discussing on this podcast.
What degree is the X-Files, Sam, when I finally get like the ability to force you to cover something?
It's going to depend entirely on which episode you ask me to cover, because given the length of the X-Files, we will have to go episode by episode.
Oh, so you can't
You are not making me watch a full season of the X-Files for a single episode. If you do that, if you want me to watch a full season, it has to be 10 episodes or shorter.
All right. What if I picked 10 episodes for you to watch? Would that be acceptable?
One at a time, Ellie.
I am slowly retracting into myself and exiting into an alternative dimension.
Don't do that. Just think of like how James Earl Jones, for when he was voicing Sarah, he chewed cookies close to his microphone in order to get the drooling sounds. So just have that image in your head.
That.
I was wondering how he got that sound right.
See, that's the kind of method acting we should be embracing, Jared.
When you said that, you were thinking of something, and you said right after someone mentioned Disney, I was thinking, yeah, bites the hand that feeds you. Is that what 9 Inch Nails is doing? You know, they're biting the hand that feeds you?
Oof.
Since they're making a soundtrack for Disney.
I am still wondering what arcane demon Jared Leto has to deal with that allows him to still keep getting work after being involved with several major bombs.
We're not uncertain that he hasn't sold his soul to the devil.
You know what? I'm calling it. Jared Leto has the Epstein files!
Oh god, that makes a horrific amount of sense.
For legal reasons, this is a joke and not meant to be taken seriously, but also, if you want to prove me wrong, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, you can call back the House of Representatives, swear in Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva, and get that discharge petition going. Your move, Mikey.
So is the Force with it?
That's my job! That's my job! I'm taking out a knife and I'm gonna make a sandwich and then I'm gonna hit you with the knife!
I'm usurping this podcast!
As I'd say, in terms of Simpsons jokes, now I'm just imagining Sam smacking Ellie in the head yelling, "You stole my bit, you stole my bit."
I'm usurping this podcast. I am in command.
Into a small blue cartoon mouse coming after you to eviscerate you in increasingly grotesque ways.
I am in command now, Admiral Marchioni.
Honestly, I think a lot of the shit that Itchy and Scratchy get away with in the regular show is scarier than what happens in this episode.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, Itchy and Scratchy, I think the best way I've just been able to describe that over the years is it's Tom and Jerry, is directed by Lucio Fulci.
I mean, it's not inaccurate.
I have no idea who that is.
Todd, I love you.
He's mainly known for his Italian horror films. Let's just say eyeball trauma is a recurring trend.
Okay, put it in this term for me. Does he rank above or below Dario Argento, with above being worse than Argento for gore and whatnot?
I'd say arguably worse.
Okay.
There is an infamous scene in Zombie involving a piece of wood and an eyeball, and I'll just leave it at that.
Oh god.
Ugh.
Okay. So all of this to say that
It's that over-the-top level of violence that's itchy and scratchy, yeah.
yeah.
Plus, I mean, somebody had to pull the what the fuck pin for this episode. I know it's normally Ellie's job, but...
Okay, so Ellie's usurping my role. You're usurping Ellie's role. Do you have a role that Shami can usurp?
I'm staying out of this. No, I don't have a role.
Sammer is the bearer of approximate knowledge.
Yeah, I haven't really developed
Yes.
a bit here. The closest I've gotten is just on Ellie's podcast. I seem to keep getting rolled into some of the darkest movies.
This is just the tamest of all the tree houses, so it's a reverse for you.
It doesn't even have a Guillermo del Toro directed cold open.
I will admit, that is a fun opening sequence.
Or Don Hertzfeld directed one.
I actually have seen the Hertzfeld one.
You should go look it up. We all love Don Hertzfeld.
Honestly, like, you think that The Simpsons has worn out its welcome, and then it does something incredibly cool like that.
That's why they keep reeling you guys back in. I still have not watched it. I'm keeping it that way, except for Treehouse of Horror.
Yeah, I mean, Guillermo del Toro, he did a Treehouse of Horror. That's what he did. He did the couch gag for 24.
Right.
It's absolutely incredible to watch. It's stuffed to the brim with his Easter eggs.
It's fun to watch, only for how many references can you recognize.
And to do it accurately, you would have to do it at like 50% speed.
We love Guillermo del Toro in this house, I feel.
We do.
Agreed.
Official stance of the podcast, pro Guillermo del Toro, yes.
Let Guillermo del Toro make a Star Wars. I'll even accept it being a Jabba the Hutt movie.
No, let him make his At the Mountains of Madness movie.
I mean, in general, I think we are of the opinion of let Guillermo del Toro do whatever he wants, and also let The Simpsons end.
Just for Julie's sake, if nothing else.
Yeah.
I feel like it's extremely weird how much of the culture, or like how much of online culture, I don't know how much normies think about this, but how much of the online culture around The Simpsons boils down to Crow at the end of Mysteries of the Batwoman, you know, and we miss James Earl Jones. I feel like that's another official stance of the podcast.
Yes, we miss his voice, especially when doing The Raven. He has...
Honestly, like, I wrote in my notes, James Earl Jones's voice is making love to my ears.
We still doing phrasing?
No, because that is exactly what it feels like.
The gravitas. And it blends so well with Homer doing the person's lines. Like,
it's well animated, it's got good atmosphere, but really, to make it's like it's a borrow the Jeff Bridges a bit of it all. James Earl Jones' voice ties the whole segment together.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there are other actors who have voices of that caliber. Like, I'd be interested to see Tim Curry read The Raven, or to hear Tony J, may he rest in peace, read The Raven. Or
Keith David, there's still time.
Keith David.
Yes, Keith David. To hear Keith David do it, or Patrick Page. Any man who's got that deep, kind of rumbly baritone or bass, I'm there. I'm sorry, I'm there. Call me an audiophile if you want.
I mean, actually, in keeping with the theme of the show, Peter Serafinowicz.
True. No shortage of guys with great voices out there. And, you know, Dan Castellaneta has a great voice, too. Like, I think we all get so used to him being Homer that we forget he can do other stuff. Like, he can sing, he can be the robot devil.
Did he do, like, Shakespeare for a while, or...?
If he did, I've never seen it. I mean... The only other big thing I've really seen him as is when he had the unenviable task of trying to take over for Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
I mean, even just taking, like, it's easy to take for granted. He's not just Homer Simpson. He's those, like, he wears a lot of hats on that show, and...
Yeah.
Honestly, for the times where, like, I am honestly surprised he is still in as good shape vocally as he is, considering some of the work he has put in.
I think maybe it's just to do with the amount of vocal fry that both Julie Kavner has this problem, and also Yeardley Smith kind of has that problem.
Well, it's especially rough in Kavner's case, where it's like every character she's playing has that kind of gravelly, you have to lean into it kind of thing, and
Yeah, especially when they do the...
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you could cut The Simpsons in half and tell what season you're in based on how bad Marge's voice sounds. That when they shifted over to the I don't know how to define it. It looks like digital artwork. When the lines got a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
And smoother.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe they switched to a different animation studio, or...
It
don't
could be a retouching.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not enough of an animation head to know what specifically changed. I just know that I can look at some seasons and go, that's after this era, because just the way the animation looks.
Yeah, it definitely is interesting to see how the style stabilized given enough time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why Disney is one of the companies that's pushing so hard for the stupid AI voice stuff, because they know that eventually one of the actors is gonna either die or not be interested in continuing, and they want to fulfill an earlier chilling Simpsons prophecy of having them all dead years after they're dead in commercials dancing with vacuum cleaners.
Oh.
Fuck the whole Tilly Norwood thing, and actors, I beg of you, hold the line on AI restrictions. Sean Astin, I'm so serious. Everything depends on you, you beautiful hobbit.
Oh, and especially after seeing, like, the incredibly creepy way they've been trying to push this new AI actress thing.
Yeah, that's Tilly Norwood.
Ugh.
That's what they named it.
Yeah.
I have a post that I found which amounted to someone's deranged personal thoughts on something, breaking containment about that. I'm not going to repeat it here.
Is this the one written by the Libertarian?
I think that we are thinking of the same thing. Yes, Todd.
Is it the one that talked about her being a virgin?
Yeah, that's it.
She's fucking pixels, my dude.
The question that a friend of mine asked in response to that is, doesn't that make every CGI creation a virgin? Is Thanos a virgin?
Why would you put that thought in everyone's head?
Is Starkiller Base a virgin? Answer the question,
Is Homer
Hollywood.
a virgin?
Is Homer a virgin?
Is everybody in The Simpsons, by virtue of this, virgins?
I was like, and would that mean Homer was always or only when he crossed over into that parallel universe in the sixth Treehouse of Horror?
Oh, good question.
I guess the point is, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Seek help. We can have thoughts we don't share.
And to the editor who okayed that, well, okay, I know what the issues with that editor, but still, if you were serious about your job, why would you okay this?
Why indeed? Well, maybe it's part of a book that has a deceptive title or something.
Yeah.
Until you brush off the rest of it. We're still trying to brush off the rest of it.
How to cook for 40 free markets.
I actually think that the actual Simpsons quote that will give you the answer is why someone okayed it and why someone created Tilly Norwood are the same. Answer's the same. Let's just say it moved him to a bigger house.
Only there is no quiet part in this case.
Yeah, they're just saying it. They're just out here talking about how they want to make a lot of money off this without ever having to worry about involving an actual human being. In related news, I'm walking into the sound.
I'm letting you do it this time. I'm too.
Better the sound than Lake Springfield. If you did that, you'd be in you'd be in the first Simpsons movie.
As I'd say, if you're lucky, you just get a third eye. If you're unlucky, you turn into that guy from the end of RoboCop.
I remember when I was a kid, I saw the first Simpsons movie in theaters when I was visiting my dad in Anchorage. And when they did the line, Alaska, where you can never be too fat or too drunk, the entire theater cheered.
Oh, jeez.
We never got mentioned.
So you got the movie. Boston got an episode or two.
We only got a section of the movie.
They did? That must have been after my time then.
Yeah. It's, TLDR, Bart gets obsessed with The Departed and is like, yeah, I want to move to Boston. And Homer's like, no, I hate Boston because the Boston Americans are cheaters and are bad at football and whatnot. So they go on a hate-cation to Boston, but actually Boston is fucking awesome. And, they decide to move there, and then Bart realizes, shit, this is a city full of nerds, and Lisa's like, yes, this is my town.
So we're saying I was about to say, is this the city of New York versus Homer Simpson? But yeah, no, then that changed. Then he brought that part. I was like, never mind.
Boston. It's actually mostly a college town, y'all.
I'm gonna choose to fight you for the honor of my city off mic. So
we could do battle in traditional New England place for combat.
Denny's.
A Dunkin' Donuts parking lot at 3 a.m.
I was going to say Candlepin Bowling, but
they're both correct answers.
Look, I'm allowed to bully Boston in the same way that you are allowed to bully Connecticut. We are siblings. We are brothers in arms, Sam. If Ohio insults Boston, we go to war.
We don't go to war with Ohio until we get Katie and Connor out of there.
We don't have to go to war with everyone in Ohio. We can just go to war with, okay, then if Arkansas insults Stamford, Boston will go to war. If Boston insults Stamford, yeah, that's just what you do. That's how it works. We're siblings. We're neighbors.
Yeah, well, we still have better seafood than you.
Fair.
And I am reasserting control of my show, and I will ask, is the Force with Treehouse of Horror #1?
Or with Boston.
The answer to both is yes.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I was going to say absolutely not. The city of Boston is rife with pain and anger and hatred.
I mean, that still qualifies as the dark side of the Force, so...
I'd say yes, because of James Earl Jones.
I will say that the Force is definitely with Treehouse of Horror 1, and the Force is also with the city of Boston because it houses my beloved friend Sam.
Oh, thank you.
And also where you're not actually from Boston originally, are you, Todd?
No, I was from Central Mass and living an expat up in New Hampshire now, although I still make my way down there for several things, including the delightful Halloween marathon coming up at the end of the month.
Let's go!
And I will make it unanimous, so welcome to the dark side with all of us, motherfuckers. Perfect for Halloween. Force is with it. So go forth with your scary/silly pun names and your Easter eggs and your regurgitating classic horror plots, and happy Halloween!
And the never used the spooky theremin music that never got done because they couldn't find the right one.
And because theremins are a pain in the ass to play.
Who has pluggables?
As it has been indicated on several occasions, I am the host of The Biggest Night in Podcasting, a podcast where we talk about Oscar-winning movies. Everyone on here is a fairly regular guest. We just finished an episode with Sam about Network. And we have an episode at the time this is coming out about Black Narcissus. You can also find me on Tumblr at Football in Tuxedos, and on Bluesky, Medium, and Letterboxd at LSR42 if you, for some reason, want to hear anything I have to say.
You can find me on the Online Muse on Tumblr. I make all the graphics for this podcast and for our sister podcast, Neat Retelling. If you like my work and want to commission me, come hit me up.
And this is a rare time I actually do have something to plug. Since it's October, I am doing a horror deep dive, this time into the films adapted from stories in Stephen King's Night Shift collection. I will say this much. It's a really weird mixed grab bag of movies.
Sounds fun.
I mean, the stories are a lot of fun, don't get me wrong. Just the movies are... Well, Maximum Overdrive's fun. Not good, but fun.
And in the spirit of Star Wars, to be there for the people who need us, this episode's mutual fund spotlight goes to foodrescue.us. It is currently November 1st, 2025, and with the federal government having been shut down for 31 days with no clear end in sight, millions of Americans who rely on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, better known as SNAP, are losing the assistance that they need to put food on the table. Foodrescue.us has chapters in 24 states working to deliver excess food to local service agencies in underserved areas, reducing food waste and increasing food access. Unlike many traditional food rescue services, they do not limit their inventory to long-term, shelf-stable items, and instead work to rescue and provide the perishable items that are required for comprehensive nutrition, including produce, dairy, and proteins. It's still absolutely worth looking into your local food pantries, but you should definitely check if foodrescue.us has a chapter in your area, and donate if they don't. The link can be found in the description, as well as on my various socials at Demisem. Our theme music is provided by Refractory Period, the two girls, one beat synth pop sensation. You can follow them on Instagram at Refractory Period, the band. To further support this podcast, please subscribe to us on your platform of choice, leave reviews, and share with your friends to boost our visibility, and consider joining our Patreon. And now, it's time to turn to the Chance Cube to see where our journey takes us next.
Oh boy. So listeners, I decided that I was going to take a page out of our friend Jasmine's book, and given the upcoming of a certain movie in November, we are going to do an Oz-themed movie for our next episode, or as close as one can get to Oz with this number.
Oh boy.
What?
Oh dear.
The Degree 1 Wizard of Oz connection we have chosen is Labyrinth.
Ooh.
Nice.
That reminds me of The Babe.
What, babe?
The Babe with the power.
What power?
The power of voodoo.
Voodoo?
You do.
Do what?
End this podcast. That's what we do.
We will see you all next time. Until then, stay safe, stay strong, stay beautiful, dance, magic dance, and may the Force be with you.
And with you in spirit.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Ooh.